Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of fantasy romance and romantic fantasy. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Mm. This is also my first cup of coffee since I returned home, so it is especially delicious. Ah. Today is Thursday, February 24th. I am back. Uh, I was drinking hotel coffee, hotel Starbucks. What do you guys think? I think that the Starbucks at hotels, I know they're legit or supposedly legit Starbucks, but I don't think their drinks are as good as like if you go to a real Starbucks store. I feel the same about grocery store Starbucks. But I got breve lattes at the Marriott LAX, is where I was staying, and the it's just amazing. Like making this with my own half and half breve latte is you make it with half and half instead of with whole milk or 2% or what have you. Those tasted so watery. They were so watery. I don't believe that they must not like use all half and half or something like that. Cutting corners, skimping, who knows? Uh, oh, this reminds me. Sorry, I got to pause. I didn't want to forget. I wanted to take a picture of the bird wing marks in the snow. So we got snow last night. It was lovely to see snow. I was, I'll tell you my traveling travails. I was very happy to get back home. Um, but when the bird's wings hit the snow, it makes a mark that looks like claws. It looks like claws. Except that there's too many of them because there's well, I'll put the photo on the show notes, but like one, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, like six, five. So it's like alien claw marks. It's really cool. Yeah, always fun to see the tracks of the critters who have been out there. So, my travels were good. I came back a day later than I had planned. I was supposed to fly home Tuesday afternoon and um, and be here all day yesterday to finish up the copy edits and revisions on Grey Magic. But actually, United messaged me before I even left, which I thought was interesting. When did they message me? Let's just look because I do find this really interesting. I mean, this is better. This is way better than the bad old days where you had no ideas. So they messaged me on, I guess, Sunday. No, I left on Sunday. They must have messaged me on Saturday. Why doesn't this have a date stamp? Let's see if it shows it on my phone. I have my phone texting, connected to the computer, which makes it easier to type. It's a little bit more invasive, but I'm willing to make that one concession. Okay, so it's beginning. So it was Saturday. So on Saturday, United texted me and said, winter weather across the Rocky Mountains may cause disruptions to your upcoming United flight, including delays or cancellations. In case your travel plans are flexible, you may want to consider flying on a different day or connecting in a different city at no additional cost. I should have paid attention to the different city part. I could have checked my rebooking options, but I thought, well, I'm just going to go. So I went, and then I clicked away too soon. Had no trouble getting there on Sunday, which was really my primary concern. I thought I needed to be there and all of that. So then on Monday, they texted me and said that they had canceled my flight from Denver to Santa Fe on Tuesday because of severe weather conditions. So, like, they knew more than 24 hours ahead and they let me rebook. And we were in the midst of getting a tour of a hotel by the sales manager because why I was there is for the SIFWA Nebula conference. And we were looking at hotels for 2023 as well. And so we went to a bunch of different hotels and got the tours of them, saw all the facilities. And let me tell you, it was a lot more tiring than I expected it to be. Um, but so we were in the middle of the tour, and I had to apologize for my inattention, sort of trailing along, but I could rebook right there on my phone. I felt like I should do it right away. So it gave me a rebooking option for early Wednesday morning. And so I was like, okay, I hope that'll work. And it was supposed to get me in by like 12:30 yesterday. Still going through Denver. Um, it was kind of funny because it kept trying to swap out like later options. I'm like, no, this is the option I want. And it wasn't terrible. My flight left LA at like 7 a.m. So, but I also did a backup flight on Southwest, because on Southwest you can cancel like 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes before the flight. So I did a backup flight on Southwest that would have left LA at like 9, connected through Phoenix and into Albuquerque, and gotten into Albuquerque at like 3 in the afternoon. And David would have had to drive down to Albuquerque to get me. So I waited until I was like on the plane in LA, and it looked like everything was good to go, and then canceled my Southwest flight. I kind of wanted to wait till I got there, but I would have missed my 10-minute window. So I canceled the Southwest flight from my plane and got to Denver, and Denver was very snowy, and everything was looking good. I had a fairly short layover. Got was there at my gate and everything. And then they said they had a maintenance problem, low oil, and they needed to check into it. And I was like, ah. So I went ahead and did it again and made a backup flight reservation on Southwest, leaving. It would have left a lot later in the day. I think it didn't leave till like 5. It was my only other option. Again, going down to Albuquerque, but it would have been better than because United didn't have any other flights to Santa Fe that day. And I was like, okay, well, I really don't want to spend another whole day and night in Denver. So I made the backup flight again, and we ended up going. We got on the plane. We were like half an hour, like 40 minutes late. And David picked me up in Santa Fe. And once I landed in Santa Fe, then I went to my Southwest app. I mean, it's really nice to have these phone apps and be able to do this. I went to my Southwest app and canceled that flight. And amusingly enough, when I went to that flight, they had this like big red flag warning on it saying, "Warning, your flight, due to weather conditions beyond our control, your flight may be canceled or delayed, and you could rebook." And by the time, it was pretty nice when I landed, the wind was sharp, but by the time we got home, um, the wind was really picking up, and by like 5 o'clock, it was storming away here. So I was glad that I feel like I sort of wove between the windows there, finding my windows of opportunity. So yeah, my copy editor sent the edits on Gray Magic. They were there when I woke up early Wednesday morning in my hotel room, so I was able to download my document. And then I went through the track changes on both flights. It did take me both flights to go through them. And then once I got home, we stopped for gyros on the way home. And then once I got here, I spent another couple hours. I did track my time on it. Um, my my start to finish for yesterday is like really wild, because it's like I spent over 10 hours from like when I started to when I finished, but my I started at like 7:30 Pacific time, so it's a little bit of an artifact there. um but 4.5 hours it took me to do all the copy edits, and then I went back and I did revise those last 52 pages, I believe it was, that I had written. Yeah, 52 pages. And I did find stuff that needed adjusting. Nothing horrible, but stuff that I was glad I had a chance to fix. And then sent it off to the formatter last night, and he sent it to me this morning at 7. So I've downloaded those and looked them over. It looks great. So now I'm going to upload, and Gray Magic is ready to go. Very exciting. And thank you all for all the excited notes that you've been sending me. That's really lovely. I think there's a cat tearing things up in the other room. Hold on. Cats are happy to see me again, but also running wild. So, other than that, it was interesting being in Los Angeles. We toured some hotels in Anaheim, um, also out near Studio City. Yeah, so it was good to be in person with some of the SIFWA people. People I've not seen in the flesh since pre-pandemic, and so we had good meals together and good conversations, and did a lot of planning. And now I'm sort of in catch-up mode. I am not going to write today. I was definitely tired. I finished on Friday. I guess I probably haven't reported since I did my podcast Friday morning. You guys know, if you listen regularly, that I woke up very early Friday morning, and that David was like, "I know you want to get this done. You might as well just get to work." And I finished finished writing it at about 11 a.m. and sent it off to my copy editor proofreader, and got ready for Dorinda to visit. And she came to visit. She got here about 6, I think. Yeah. So I don't remember now, because it feels like a long time ago, what all I did that Friday afternoon. But I took care of a lot of things, and picked up the house, that sort of thing, and got ready for my trip. And we watched I, Tonya together. That was fun. She had never seen it. And so that was, I really like the storytelling in that. And I thought Dorinda would appreciate it too. We were talking about breaking the fourth wall and how that can be an effective way to tell a story. And then Saturday morning, we got to sort of chat over coffee, hang out and chat. It was a very leisurely morning. And I had a SIFWA board meeting, which we got done really fast. That was great. And then we went and did our panel at the Jean Cocteau. It was interesting trying to do the hybrid, which is like what we're focusing on for the SIFWA Nebula conference for 2023, trying to do as hybrid as possible, maximizing. So there are definitely tricks that I learned, but like having 3 of us there in person with some people in the audience and then 2 people zooming in, it made for an interesting balancing act. They did show us the screen with the faces of the other 2 people, but it was down here. And it was very much tempting to look down into their faces, as we're trained to do, right? Paying attention, we look into their faces. But the camera was not down here. The camera was up there across the theater, pointed at us. So I was having to remind Dorinda and Emily, and remind myself, to look up into the camera when we were talking. I'm sure that this is like what the newscasters learn. It seems like this was in broadcast news and maybe some other things, but it's like you have to learn to look in the camera. And it's something that I feel like the younger people are better at with selfies, because it's the same thing that when people do the selfie, it's tempting to look down at the image of yourself, and you have to look up at where the camera is. And it's the same thing on here. I tend to look at myself, but I really should be looking at the camera so that you feel like I'm looking at you. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Technology. So after that, Dorinda and I had a wonderful lunch, and then we went out to Melinda Snodgrass's house, and she taught us her plot break um, method, although we didn't get as far into it as I would have liked. And Dorinda left I think around 6:30. We got there at 4. She left at 6:30, and they were just like sort of launching into phase 2. And I was kind of thinking, "Oh, should I stay longer?" And then I was like, I knew I was tired. My brain was tired. I was out of words um, from finishing the book. And I said, "Oh, actually I should go home now too." And so I went home and I actually went to bed pretty quickly. Got up early Sunday morning, flew to Los Angeles, and yeah, and then started meeting up with people. It was funny because people started coming in, and then a lot of us were there for Monday, touring the different hotels to check things out, and then it started to peter off again um, on Tuesday until it was like I was the only one left leaving on Wednesday morning because of my delay. But yeah, it was interesting. Interesting to see how all these different hotels had responded to both how they responded to COVID and how they represented how they responded to COVID. Because one of the questions we asked them, and it was a little bit of a test question, was what challenges had they faced with the pandemic? Um, which you would think would be a pretty standard answer. And our executive director, Kate, had posed that question. And I kind of felt like, well, what are we going to learn from this that we don't always already know? Like, we know what the challenges of the pandemic were. But it was funny because, like, one gal said, none at all, business as usual. And it's like, okay, so this place, they're just going to like take that party line and they're going to lie about it. Um, and other places gave different levels of honest answers. So I think that it was a good litmus test for like, what will it be like dealing with this hotel? How direct and honest will they be with me? So, so yeah, that's been my last few days. I'm still feeling tired. It's hard to say if I'm tired from. It was remarkably exhausting going to see these different hotels. I'm not quite sure why. Um, Maybe just that paying attention and moving from place to place, hard to say, on top of traveling. So, yeah, I'm still feeling a little tired, but I'm going to get this book uploaded. Yay. And maybe do some businessy things today, but also kind of kick back and relax today. So, I know my mother's very happy to have the podcast back again. Hope you all are happy too. And yeah, glad to be back into my routine, and we'll see how things go from here. So, Monday, February 28th, release of Gray Magic. It's actually going to happen. And they said it couldn't. No, you guys have all been like, we know, and we're happy to wait. And I greatly appreciate it. Um, yeah. So, and otherwise, I'll be back here tomorrow to talk to you. So, I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday. Um, and yeah, talk to you tomorrow. You all take care. Bye bye.